Good afternoon, happy Christmas, I hope you're all well. There's a lot of discourse over the past few days about a chap that you may or may not agree with, or you may or may not know about, and his name is Steve Laws. This isn't a video about him per se, it's about the online discourse, and it's also about why the right is going to win. This is the point of the video, and I want to nuance things, and I want to set out my stall, alright? So the first thing I need to bring up is this. The number of people who say Britons must be born in the UK is rising, a study shows. This is from The Guardian, so you can take it with a pinch of salt. However, let's read into the meat of the article a little bit. The people who believe Britishness is something you were born with has almost doubled in 2 years, according to research that warns of a rise of ethno-nationalism in Britain. Although the majority of the public still believe being British is rooted in shared values, a growing proportion see it as a product of ethnicity, birthplace, ancestry, according to an analysis carried out by the Institute for Public Policy Research and shared with The Guardian. About a third of people, 36, thought a person must be born in Britain to be truly British, up from 1 in 5, 19% in 2023, a YouGov poll carried out this month. Let's just see. Supporters of Nigel Farage's Reform UK have the most extreme views. That's contested. We'll get into that. Of any party backers, with 71% saying British ancestry was a prerequisite for somebody being truly British, and 59% saying believe the nation was a ethnic, not a civic community. Some issues with that, and that's what we're going to unpack. Then you look at Ulrika Johnson. She says stuff like this. My soul is Swedish, but here's why I'll be cheering for England, Ulrika Johnson. She was born in Sweden. She is Swedish, but she's British, and she's a British media personality. This is an example of somebody who assimilated and bought into the United Kingdom, hook, line and sinker. This is the issue, and this is where we need to draw a distinction. I'm going to play a clip. This was from GB News, and this was from earlier on today when they were discussing this very topic about being born in Britain makes you British, and this is what we need to discuss. So I'm going to play this clip now.
A curious one to take on. I think.
Well, listen, I can't see what the problem is. I mean, it seems quite obvious to me that you have to be born there.
But I was born in Sweden, Eamon. Do you think I'm not particularly British?
Well, do you think you're particularly British?
I really do. I've served in the British Army. I've been as British as I possibly could be. My passport says British, not Swedish. My parents are.
If you say so.
I couldn't feel more British than anyone else.
This is where the arguments of being born in Britain making you British falls down flat on its arse. Charlie Peters, I think he's one of the best journalists we've got in the UK. Currently, I think he's really good. I think he's really bright. He's really articulate. And in no way is he not British. Now, if you apply this logic to people who think you need to be born in Britain to be British, well, then that Welsh choir boy will have you think that people said he was, the media said he was, the legacy media said he was, before he committed that atrocity in Southport last year. You see the arguments. It's not necessarily about where you were born, it's about what your value set is and whether you buy into Britain. That is the issue, and I hate the phrase British values. There's no such thing. You feel it. You can feel if somebody's bought into Britain, and that's why I'll say buy into Britain. Alright? You can feel it. Charlie is British. There's no doubt there. There's other people, and there's no doubt that they're British as well, which we're going to get into later.
I think this is our poll today. Is Charlie Peters British? Yes or no? But we got.
Yes, he is. He is. 100% he is.
Secret Swede.
Well, you answered yourself now.
Okay, so that's the first clip that we wanted to play. Now, you've got what some would say is balance, and some would say is an extreme position on the right. This is where Steve Laws comes in. He's done a few media appearances. This was on Heretics with Andrew Gold. This is what I'm going to play now.
That makes me racist, so be it. I'll wear it proudly. I've had enough. I want everyone gone. So someone's going to come knock on my door. It's not personal. It's necessary.
That will not work.
To find out who would have to be removed, the easiest way to do this is medical records.
This is mental.
I don't believe you're European. I think you're Jewish.
But I'm not going to Israel.
Yeah, if I had power, mate, you would be.
Shake your leg and get aggressive when we talk about Jews being European. I'm not shaking my leg and just.
I just have a twitch.
The twitch only comes up when Jews are mentioned. We can move on to another topic if you want to.
I can envision millions of people being thrown onto planes and deported from my country.
I think Tommy Robinson would fight against that.
Tommy Robinson will do because he's a traitor. Tommy Robinson has loads of foreign friends. He promotes multiculturalism. He's a Zionist piece of shit.
Do you have any room in your mind for that you might be wrong?
No.
See, that's the sign of an ideologue.
So I'm going to leave that one there. I've got many problems with that clip from both sides, and I want to unpack a few of those after the video, which is what I'm going to get into now. The way that clip from Heretics was edited, it looks like a hit piece. I've not watched the full episode. I've not watched the full point. However, just from that edited clip of a minute, it looks like a hit piece on Steve Laws. I'm not interested in hit pieces on anybody. I wasn't interested on the hit piece on Michael Jackson that Channel 4 put out, Leaving Neverland. I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson. I think it was a huge, huge hit piece with no real evidence. And then you look at the same of the hit piece that Channel 4 put out on Russell Brand. Again, another hit piece. Another hit piece on Tommy Robinson that Channel 4 put out a few years ago. Not interested in anything like that. It's all about sensationalism. It's not about facts. It's not actually about things you can actually measure. It's about people's opinions and feelings. All right? Let's deal with the real issues. Let's not get sidetracked. There's a lot of people attacking Andrew Gold online. I put a slight comment. It wasn't an attack, but it was a slight comment. I don't think he's a right of centre person. That's just my personal view. He's going where the clicks are. Now, if you look at Steve Laws, again, you may not agree with him. Should you be attacking him? There's a lot of arguments to say now, and I'm one of the people that will say, well, don't attack anybody on your own side. Let them do their shtick. You don't have to agree with it. You can call it out if you want to call it out, but you don't need... There's so many targets on the left. There's so many targets. So many open goals on the left. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting... There's no point. There's literally no point. All right? It serves a purpose to have people like Steve Laws. It serves a purpose to have somebody on that, what people would deem extreme right of centre, because it plays into Reform UK's hands to a degree. Because there's many in the media, your Emily Maitlis, your Rory Stewarts, they will say that Nigel Farage is the most extreme right-wing figure in the country. When you look at people like Steve Laws, and you look at people that are further right of Nigel Farage, you could argue Tommy Robinson is right, but even in that clip, you can see that Steve Laws doesn't think that he's right of centre at all. So there was always going to be, no one's ever going to agree. The point of the matter is, Farage is the least of it. Farage is the least of the establishment's worries, and this is the thing that either they know or they don't know. Either they're really smart, saying, look at the big bag boogeyman that is Nigel Farage, isn't he scary? Or they're putting him up as that to try to dissuade people from going further right than Farage. Either way, it serves a purpose. Reform are going to get in at the next election. There's issues with saying you need to deport non-white people from Britain. All right, this isn't about ethno-nationalism to me. It's about democratic consent, and it's about what we've actually voted for. I'm naive. I believe in democracy. I believe that my vote should count. I believe that my vote should matter. That is because I'm naive. I'm 42 years old. I am naive. I think that democracy is the best system we have. All right? My system about migration and remigration is very, very simple. I've got a patented traffic light system. People may say it's too simplistic. I think it's easy to understand, and that's why I will plug it. And this is my stall. This is what I think should happen. Whether it does happen is another matter. I think it's perfectly measured and perfectly reasoned. So, the red light. Post-1997. This is the area most British people never voted for, mass migration, and repeatedly signalled opposition to. Net migration exploded from 50,000 a year in 1997 to peaks at over 700,000 recently, even over 1 million during the Boris wave, driven by deliberate policy choices. Political choices against the consent of the population. This is specifically why Steve Laws, and others like him exist. They are a direct reaction to this policy. This is why I give this 1997, post 1997, a red light. Anybody arriving here after 1997, I wouldn't argue the toss if they're all deported or not. That's just my view. Whether it will happen is another matter. This is, as I say, this was deliberate policy choices. No transitional controls on the EU expansion, active recruitment abroad, loose student work visa regimes, high asylum grants. Most of it was from culturally distant countries with low historical ties to Britain. The scale overwhelmed integration mechanisms, leading to parallel communities, which is why you have ethnic enclaves all over the UK, where you don't get signs in English, you get them in Punjab, Urdu, and a dozen other foreign languages, if not more. How about how much we're paying for translators for all of these people? All of this stuff. If they cannot support themselves, they need to go back. It's as simple as. Let's have a look. And it's anywhere people, the phenomenon I've always described on this channel. If you can just pitch up a tent anywhere in the world and say you're off that place, then you belong to nobody and you belong to nowhere. And that's how countries die. That's how we stop being the United Kingdom. Alright? Everybody who arrived post this period has a red light, presumably up for deportation, unless they clearly meet strict exemptions. They've married into a pre-existing British family or exceptional net contribution, full assimilation, no criminality. This is the default position for me. Anyone post 1997, red light. If we've got an extreme right-wing government in that said anyone post 1997 is going, I wouldn't argue. Simple as. Then you get into the second category of people. 1948 to 1997, the Empire Commonwealth era. This covers the period of from the British Nationality Act 1948, which was replaced with the Nationality Act under Thatcher in 81, I believe, to the eve of New Labour. Migration from former Commonwealth and Empire countries did happen, the Windrush generation, South Asians post-partition, but the numbers were tiny, the magnitude was small, and what came later. Net migration was rarely exceeded the tens of thousands per year, and the total non-European settlement over these 5 decades was very limited. Many who came explicitly invited for labour shortages and had a direct ties to Britain through colonial service and married British citizens. I have an example of this. I had a friend in primary school whose dad was from British Hong Kong, Michael Lee, hello, and he married an English woman, and they had mixed-race children. They were fully assimilated, they spoke perfect English, nothing to see here, nothing. There's a problem. No problem at all. Crucially, there was stronger social pressure to assimilate, and the numbers were so small that assimilation could happen pretty easily. As a result, many second and third generation descendants are fully integrated. Think Father Calvin Robinson, think Mel B of the Spice Girls, and Ben Habib. All of these people are examples of migrants who emigrated to the United Kingdom or were born of foreign parents, and they assimilated into British culture and British life. And think of it, if Ben Habib left, you wouldn't have Advanced UK. And then, so my Amber category handles this perfectly. It's subject to review, but pass easily via the assimilation, contribution, and marriage test. Those who fail to integrate the ethnic enclaves, lifelong non-English speakers, serious criminality, such as the people complicit or participated in the grooming gangs, they should all be deported. That's not an issue. That's why it's an amber light, because there's nuance there. I would say anybody who's committed a serious crime in the era of 1948 to 1997, i.e. a custodial sentence of over 2 years, should be deported. They broke our laws, serious, and they've had a custodial sentence, they should go home as well. Then you get onto the green light category. This may annoy some people, but this is the green light category. Anything pre-1948. This is the year. This is the era before any significant post-war immigration policy existed. Virtually everybody in the United Kingdom at this point was from historic peoples of these islands: English, Scots, Welsh, Irish, or very small populations of pre-war European refugees. It was before the experiments of mass migration applied. Nothing to review, nothing to change. These people and their direct descendants are uncontested core of the nation. So there you have it. There's the nuance, and this is what's missing from a lot of the online discourse. There was always nuance, there was always exceptions, there was always outliers to any particular case. This is why when people say, well, Nigel Farage isn't right-wing enough, Steve Laws is a racist, Tommy Robinson is a Zionist, I don't much care either. I really don't care. I really don't care. I know what my opinion is, I know what my stall is, which is what I've set out here. And what I'll further say is, the media is dancing to our tune. This is the big win that people need to recognise. And these guys on my t-shirts, Leatherface, Michael, Jason and Freddy, recognise this, and you should too. We are winning. This can only be a good thing. There is no downside. The left is on the back foot, they've got nowhere to hide, the arguments are crap, and they are going to be voted out for a very long time. Keep the faith, vote Reform, vote UKIP if actual poison, vote Advance if actual poison, I don't much care. Just don't vote for the raving lunatics on the left. We will win this in the end, alright? Now, if you like this video, and you think I've made some good points, make me aware. If you think I'm being overly simplistic, make me aware. As always, say, Damien, you're being crazy. Cheshire, you're absolutely insane. All comments are valid. Have a good day and continue to enjoy your Christmas.